it's a hurting thing because I worked 2 and 3 jobs to pay that insurance. And come to find out here recently, I didn't have any insurance at all.
Mrs. Willie Belfield is talking about industrial insurance, which used to be sold to industrial workers in England. But today, it's used to exploit mainly low-income, uneducated blacks in this country.
For 6 years, I've been paying insurance. The policy on my husband, $2,500, and I don't have any insurance on him.
Industrial insurance is usually sold in seemingly small premium policies from between a quarter and $1 a week. The agent will try and write as many policies on the same person as possible. The consumer is ripped off, though, because industrial offers much less protection than a conventional insurance policy, and agents who are supposed to write down the payments of the client each week in a debit book don't always do that.
Oh, boy. For the past 6 years, I done paid over $1,000.
And it's worth $62?
That's all she told me, the company said.
No, you've given them $1,000?
Yes, and that's all I'm supposed to be able to get back.
$62.
$62 and some cents.
Or sometimes the agent will collect twice from the same family.
On my husband, I was paying I think it was something like $15.40 a month. Well, I found out she was collecting from him and me.
On the same policy?
On the same policy, and it wasn't on my book.
Now, let me get this straight. You were paying $15.40
on just one policy.
On one policy, and your husband was paying $15.40 on the same policy.
On the same policy.
And she didn't tell you?
No.
There are several companies that sell industrial insurance, and in one way or another, they usually exploit their clients.
What's the name of the insurance company?
It's North Carolina Mutual.
Well, I understand them to be a black-owned insurance company.
Yes.
You mean it's a matter of blacks ripping off blacks?
That's right. I didn't believe it either, till I found out.
North Carolina Mutual refused to comment on the matter, and since then, Mrs. Belfield has switched to conventional insurance.
Because it's a hurting thing. Thinking that you have something and come to find out you don't have anything.
In our next report, we'll meet some of the agents who sell and have sold the industrial policies, find out how and why they do it, and what the agents themselves think about industrial insurance. Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News.
If your company knew you were sitting here talking with me, what would happen?
Well, I better not go in the office if they find out that this was me talking, because they would immediately fire me, of course.
This man is an industrial insurance agent who says he rips off the poor, like Mrs. Willie Belfield, who we met last night. The agent, who says he has to remain anonymous for obvious reasons, says he feels bad about selling industrial insurance, but says it's easy.
Well, we don't deal with the upper crust, you might say. We deal with people that are in the very low income, and they feel that $1 a week is a lot less money than $20 a year. They can pay it $1 a week, but maybe they wouldn't want to pay it $20 a year.
The premium is small, and the people, like I say, just don't understand insurance. And you could say, I can sell you $1,000 on a weekly basis for $1. That sounds like a lot of insurance for the market we work. They're low-income people, don't have a lot of money. They'll say, well, yeah, I could afford that. But actually, if they pay it by monthly or quarterly, we could maybe raise that thing to $5,000, pure protection.
It was like 98% black and about 2% white. There was very few whites that had the industrial insurance in the office that I worked out of.
The clients are 99% black, and they pay more money in the policy than they could ever get out of it.
After our report last night, several industrial agents who refused to appear on camera called to say that the insurance does not take advantage of poor blacks. Decide for yourself.
We've seen stories of these different types of rates, standard and preferred. What does that mean?
It simply means that a black person will pay the highest rate. It's just that simple.
When I first went into industrial insurance, I was told to write all black people on regular rate and white people on preferred rate. Now, I did write a case with a company, with Home Beneficial. She was a white lady, and since I dealt mostly with black, I made a mistake and put her on a regular rate. On the applications, you have to put on there whether they're black or white. And because I had white and had her on a regular rate, they sent it back to me wanting to know why I wrote her on a regular rate.
We've heard about these books where there's a different rate, a preferred
And a standard.
Okay, what does that mean?
Depending if you're colored, you get the standard rate.
They want to know if the person or the applicant was black or white. And in many cases, if the person was black and lived in a particular neighborhood, their policy was automatically rated, regardless of the income.
In our next report, more industrial insurance horror stories and what the agents themselves say should be done about this type of insurance. Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News. In our first two reports, we told you how industrial insurance often takes advantage of poor, uneducated blacks like Mrs. Willie Belfield, who had 23 policies she says were almost worthless. We also met agents and former agents who claimed industrial basically ripped off the poor. Tonight, we'll amplify on that.
You currently sell industrial insurance.
That's right.
Is it of any value to the client?
It's very little good. It's just, it isn't worth the money.
Dottie, you sold industrial insurance for 5 years.
That's right.
Is it worthwhile insurance?
No. It's not a worthwhile in a policy to sell a person.
How bad can the insurance be?
See, I had one death claim that I'd taken care of here, I think it was last January. I sit there with my little calculator on the desk. It was a $500 policy. The man had paid over $1,100 in premium on that policy over a period of years. But that was the death benefit.
And he got how much back?
$500 was the death benefit.
And he paid in $1,100.
Over $1,100.
She had, I believe it was 5 policies. She wanted to cash them in. She's had them 5 years. She's paid into them $1,500, got back less than $200. Now, if that's not ripping off the public, I don't know what you would call it.
However, sometimes policyholders don't appear to care that they're not getting the best buy.
And when I tell them the truth, lots of them, they won't change them. They just aren't educated. You tell them that they are being ripped off, and so many of them. With ordinary companies will come in and try to write them better business. But they like their agent, and they've been with him a long time, and they have coffee together, and maybe drink on the weekends once in a while. They just like the agent, won't change.
What do the agents we talk to think should be done?
If someone comes to a person's door and says, look, I want to sell you industrial insurance, what should they tell the agent?
They should tell the agent they're not interested.
The industrial insurance is just a bad buy for anybody.
What's going to stop this practice?
When the public, and mainly the black people, when they learn that they are being ripped off, and when they become educated, they're going to stop buying it. But they've just never been told, really.
Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News.